Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's info session with CircuitStream and McGill University. I'm going to kick off this session here in just a couple of minutes. Before I officially kick it off, I always like to start and just make sure that everybody can hear me okay, everybody can see me okay. If you can, feel free to use the emojis. I think there's probably some thumbs up emojis there. Perfect, yeah. You can also engage in the chat in the bottom right there if you like. Hello. Hi, Jonathan. Awesome. So the second thing I was going to say is the chat log in the bottom right corner. Feel free to use that through the presentation today. We've also got the questions tab just beside that. The questions tab, we will go over some Q&A at the very end of the session here today. And then the polls tab, I think I've dropped one of the polls in here already, asking what industry you're working in. But I do have two other polls that we will post throughout the presentation, likely during around the middle portion, and would love if people could engage with the polls there. So without further ado, I will get the presentation started. If you like, you can share where you are joining us from in the chat. I am from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. That's actually where CircuitStream is initially founded from as well. I'm assuming we're probably going to get some people from Montreal or from Quebec here today. I see Montreal. Amazing. That's kind of what I was hoping for today. So welcome. I'd also like to note that I will be recording this entire presentation here today and sending it out to all of the attendees. So if there's any statistics, if there's any information, anything, you're welcome to write it down. You can take screenshots, but you will get a full recording of the presentation as well. So you don't have to, if you just want to sit back and watch, you can do that as well. So let's get this going here. Perfect. I'll start off with an introduction of myself here. My name is Tyler. I am the Marketing Events Manager at CircuitStream. I've been with the company for just over 2 years. Previously, before this, I worked in travel and tourism for about 10 plus years, pre-COVID times, I guess. And I am a video game enthusiast myself. We will be joined not too long here by Manuel. Manuel is a renowned futurist, artist, and advocate at Unity, where he pioneers advancements in mixed realities and AI. He was born in Guadalupe and is celebrated for his multidisciplinary approach to technology and art and his advocacy for ethics, diversity, and inclusion. He is a trailblazer in the tech industry and inspires, innovates, and educates on a global stage. So he'll be joining us in not too long here. See the heart in the chat there. Hi, Manuel. I'm going to start off the presentation by giving a quick overview of who CircuitStream is. CircuitStream began in 2015 through a network of developers, designers, and creators who are pioneering the virtual and augmented reality ecosystem. CircuitStream saw a need for education and training that would empower people to build Unity and XR applications and advance the industry's frontiers. We now partner with industry-leading companies and leading educational institutions, such as McGill, to offer courses and training to those looking to learn more about emerging technologies like XR development and XR design. Collaboration between XR companies and research institutions fosters innovation and provides students with access to high-quality education and resources. Industry-relevant curriculums that are aligned with current industry trends and demands ensure that students receive education that is relevant to their future careers. Universities are hubs for academic and professional networks, providing the students with opportunities to connect with peers, professors, professionals from all different various fields. This partnership with McGill adds them to the list of top Canadian universities that are now partnered with CircuitStream to deliver XR development and design education. And with that, I'm hoping that she is in the room here with us. I'm going to invite Elisa up on stage. Elisa is the Academic Director of Technology and Innovation at the McGill School of Continuing Studies. She's a Finnish mathematical computer scientist with a keen interest in computational intelligence, and she also speaks 4 languages. Lisa is joining us here today to share a little bit of information about technology and information at McGill School of Continuing Studies. So if, Elisa, if you are in the room, feel free to jump up on the stage here now. If Elisa's here. She's here. I could see in here, I think. Oh, maybe not. Well, if for any reason Elisa's having a hard time getting up on the stage here, we can always loop back there and just get her back up in just a few minutes here. I'm just going to give her one more second, and I'm going to check and just make sure that she is here. I'm sorry, folks. Just bear with me for just 1 second here. I'm just going to make sure that our guest speaker has access to the event today. I'm sorry, folks. Oh, Elisa, we're getting you, I swear. Just give me 1 second here if you don't have access. There we go. So Elisa should have access now. Again, I do apologize here, folks. I think this might have been an issue on my end here. Elisa was probably likely trying to join the stage and didn't have the proper access link. So I've just shared the access link with Elisa so that she is able to pop up on the stage. We can give her a quick moment here. If anybody wants to share. Oh, we've got people in the chat. If anybody else wants to share where they're from or share anything in the chat, feel free to. This will just be 1 minute here, I promise. There we go. My apologies, Elisa. That was entirely my fault. So welcome. Oh,
to Google Meet, so I was furiously clicking on buttons. Tyler, where's everybody?
I sent the wrong link to poor Lisa here. So thank you, Lisa. Thank you for joining us, and my apologies for that. I'll let you say your piece and do a little welcome to everybody here.
I don't really know what he said, but I can try to guess what my piece would be. So on behalf of McGill, we are very delighted to be doing this. Especially we're delighted to be working with Manuel, who's amazing. Montreal is a really interesting place, both for the video gaming industry and the AI industry. And all of us who've had any contact with video games, we already know that gaming was kind of like a frontier for AI anyway. First, we had silly APCs and procedural generation of textures, and now it's kind of growing further from there. So I think the combination of people who want to make video games, people who want to use AI, and then people who want to make this surround us. So it's not just on your phone, it's not just on your laptop, that it's around you. And personally, I'm passionate about the part of making it more than entertainment, to make it accessibility, assistance, little cues so that you have less cognitive load on you, so you do your work better. You don't forget the dishes in the kitchen for 3 weeks because the exclamation mark blinking on top of the dishes gets bigger and redder every day, so that your romantic partner or mother won't be mad at you. So there's just so much potential in this. Learning the software, learning the hardware, learning the theory, that I am so pleased that we're doing this. I'm happy to have all of you here. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to chill in the chat. So if you have any questions, I'll be reading, I'll be typing. Hello, everybody who's saying hi. And we're going to have an amazing time with Manuel.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Elisa. And yeah, if you have any questions for Elisa, if you want to interact, like she said, she'll be in the chat there, interacting with everybody off on the side. I'm going to make this big. We don't need my face big right now. And I'll get the presentation back up here. There we go. So I'm going to jump in with some information about the XR industry and opportunities within this space before I hand the mic back over to Manuel to talk about the partnership and the XR industry in Quebec overall. Some of you may already know about XR, while others may have heard about the recent buzz around the new Apple headset or the Meta Quest 3 headsets, both released this year. Either way, we just want to give you a brief overview of the industry so you kind of know. XR stands for extended reality, which encompasses virtual reality, augmented reality, and also mixed reality. The XR industry has grown immensely in the last few years and has made its way into a wide range of industries such as gaming, film, music, manufacturing, healthcare, retail, and many, many more. Many companies are using XR for training simulations, interactive customer experiences, project visualizations, learning experiences, product development, virtual tours, and so on. The extended reality industry in Quebec is constantly growing and gaining traction with over 44 XR studios currently located in the province. Montreal is known as a hub for the video game industry as well, and XR technologies have strongly influenced gaming and entertainment sectors, leading to development of immersive gaming experiences and interactive entertainment content. Manuel will obviously be sharing more information here as well about the overall industry. I think I mentioned this at the beginning, but just in case I didn't, we will be sending out a recording of this to everybody who's in the session here today. So if you're looking to, keep track of any of the information, especially when there's stats and numbers on the screen like this, you're welcome to take a screenshot or write it down, but you will get a copy of this at the end. The primary roles in XR are usually grouped into either design or development, and we'll be talking about both of those in the presentation. XR designers are primarily responsible for conceptualizing ideas and experiences, planning visuals through storyboarding, and prototyping to ensure optimal user experience. On the other hand, XR developers take these design blueprints, implement them to build XR apps or experiences, and utilize coding to bring them to end life for the end users. Developers and designers generally work pretty closely together, or somebody might have both skill sets or develop both skill sets to do design and development for an XR experience and be able to do it from start to finish on their own. Most commonly, people do kind of work together. We see lots of teams, lots of our students, developer students and design students tend to collaborate and come together, especially in our Slack channel. During the course, after the course, but for the individuals, some individuals look to do it all on their own too. So my only recommendation is maybe just don't learn development and design at the exact same time. Pace yourself if you're going to try and do both. McGill School of Continuing Studies offers courses in both of these areas in partnership with CircuitStream. The best devs understand design, even if they don't do it on their own, and vice versa. Exactly. They understand a little bit of it, some people go all the way and understand them fully on both sides, but at least having a bit of an understanding from both sides is always important. The demand for developers and designers in the XR space has grown dramatically and continues to grow as these technologies become more common. We've broken down average salaries for both design and developer roles in Canada. And as you can see, they both offer highly competitive compensation. Again, you'll get a copy of this slide here. I'm going to share more information about the XR education available through McGill later in the presentation. But since we're only here for about 60, an hour and a half today total time, just wanted to share the process for the course registration, both at the beginning and at the end of this presentation for everyone. This is the website here for the interaction design and prototyping for XR course. Basically, you would go to the link if you're interested. It's super easy. You click it, you add it to the cart, and then you can just proceed with registration that way. Again, I'll share this later in the presentation so you can see, but just nice to kind of give a visual for everybody. We're also going to put some links in the chat. David from our team is going to share the links directly to these websites if you want to click and take a look. And this one here is the website for the XR development with Unity course, similar to the interaction design one there. Now, without further ado, I am going to invite our guest speaker on stage for today. Manuel, welcome.
Hello. Happy to be here.
Thank you. Yes, and I'm going to make you bigger because I certainly don't need to be big here. I can click through here for you if you like, Manuel, while you're presenting. But I'll let you introduce yourself to everybody.
Sure. So my name is Manuel Sensili. I live in Montreal, Canada. I'm from Guadeloupe. I'm currently a senior advocate at Unity, very specialized in everything related to XR and AI. I'm also the co-founder and host of the biweekly Haptics Club podcast for everything related to haptics and the sense of touch. I do a lot of other things and I wear a lot of caps, so I'm not going to bore you with that. But we're going to actually deep dive into my work here. If you can go to the next slide, please.
Of course.
So today we will talk together about the journey, everything that have brought me to here in Canada, where I'm from, and why. Talk a little bit about the XR industry in Quebec, very interesting one. For that one, I will actually read you some documentation that I've worked with, which is related to the website at McGill. I think it's very important for us to understand how this is a precedent for us, both on the university side, on the academy side, but also in terms of the technological space. And I think it's very beautiful to see this partnership flowing. And finally, the convergence of tech, because obviously everybody here is interested about XR, but I want to talk a little bit more broadly about the tech space and what's coming to excite us and inspire us a little bit. So without further ado, let's go to the next slide, please. Thank you. So my personal journey. So it all started in Guadeloupe, which is a teeny island, an archipelago actually of islands in the Caribbean, French. So that's why I have a French accent. And That's not the French from Quebec, but it's very similar. And now I'm a mix of Creole and French Quebec, all mixed together. And I moved to Canada back in 2010 to complete my computer science master degree. But you have to understand, I actually signed up for the wrong school. Initially, both my parents are artists, art teacher and a school teacher in art, and my dad is a actual traditional artist. And when I signed up for school, I thought I was going into a design school, which was not the case. And I already invested the first year and I was already moving to Montreal because it was the same time zone as Guadeloupe, which explains why we have a lot of Canadians going in vacation there during the winter. So I couldn't tell my mom that I actually signed up for the wrong school. It was too late. And it was like, you know what? Computer science is still very related to game design. And I wanted to make my own video games. I was learning on my own with my own computer as a kid. I was like, it cannot be bad, right? So let's see the first year. I ended up falling in love with Montreal, both the culture, but also the people, and the space itself. A lot of opportunities I couldn't have back in France or in Guadeloupe. And it was important for me to continue to explore that side of my skill set. And so I came from a background of graphic design, art, which is not really common in this type of class. Most people are engineers or they're learning code or computer architecture and things like that. But I really found it interesting because it gave me a foundation of understanding for many different roles and skills that even though I didn't want to specialize in, gave me a solid foundation for the work later. And a little bit like we were saying before, design and developers are not really so different. It's just different way of creating, but you're both creators. And nowadays we see a lot more, I would say, role opportunities opening up to the versatility of those roles and different people coming from different background working together. So I'm really embracing that diversity that we're seeing more in the space right now. And I couldn't, do anything different than what I did with. So when I moved to Montreal, my early career was really focused on UI and UX design. It was important for me to work with companies when it comes to ergonomy, making sure things are accessible and so on. But obviously, you're not really paid well when you're a junior in that space, especially 10 years ago. The world didn't even have an understanding of what UI UX meant. So it was important for me to also learn more. And as I continued to work, I was always upskilling myself, reskilling myself, learning what would be my next job move. And in Canada, it's a very fast paced environment as well. So I wanted to stay competitive and not just, relax as a graphic designer, just learning design. I really wanted to stay competitive. And that's what brought me to work in 2017 for IBM, where I led the XR design department of Canada, which is an amazing opportunity as well, because initially I started as a UI UX designer, consultant, doing a lot of workshops in design thinking for corporations. Gave me also access to a different types of industry. Initially, I was really working on, mobile app for finance or entertainment and nothing else. And eventually moving to IBM opened the floor for everything else from automotive to architecture to working in healthcare and government. And so understanding, the different way that these companies models work in different industries and what are the actual users of those in different industries was really key. And design is always at the center of everything that I do. So realizing that also the world of UX design was expanding, that company started valuing the design process and the methodologies that initially was only given to designers to work with, now started expanding beyond the design role, and developers, consultants, sales managers started learning the design methodologies and implementing it in their own role. So I didn't just started working as a designer for IBM, but I became a coach, I became an educator. I started helping on the curriculum of XR as well, which I wanted to build to help my colleagues learn about VR and AR as it was starting to really explode at the time. But unfortunately, around 2019, my personal goals and what I wanted to do clashed a little bit with the long-term vision of IBM at the time. And I felt like I was not growing enough in my current role, even though I learned a lot from there. And I always thankful for all my colleagues at the time. I needed to, fly with my own wings. So I moved to something very different, and I moved to a research company called Immersion. And Immersion was very specialized on everything related to haptics design. And coming from a background with design and XR, obviously I came in Immersion with a completely different lens. Most of my colleagues were mechanical engineers, electrical engineer. They came from long-term haptics research backgrounds. Some of them have 30 or 40 years of experience. So even though I'm above 30 years old, I was still seen as the young one in the team. And totally fair. And I wanted to still bring my knowledge from the XR space, which not all of my colleagues were educated with. And we started working with game engines and real-time 3D engines like Unreal and Unity. And learning how to teach someone else about VR was really a key moment in my career, because it led me to wanting to become even more of an educator. I started giving teaching assistance even back in my university time, but actually working on a curriculum at IBM and then teaching companies in my next role really consolidated the fact that I wanted to be more of an educator. So that's the time that moved me from 2D to 3D. I taught myself Blender from scratch, and I really recommend anyone that doesn't have any 3D art skills to at least have some knowledge of 3D art creation tools, because it's very important to have that foundation as well. And when you get into XR, you have to make stuff look nice in spatial design, and not everything should be a flat 2D panel floating in front of you. We're getting into more 3D space. And obviously still the reminder of accessibility and inclusion in that space. Those points become and are still even more important when you get into spatial computing. So that transition to haptics and research led me to my love for AI, which we see right now in my current role, starting in AI back in IBM in 2017, up to now, where I'm actually advocating for Unity tools for AI. And there's a lot coming in the space. I'm also working as a freelancer with other companies when it comes to ethics and thinking about how we can train model to be less biased and have more thoughts around diversity and inclusion. So companies like OpenAI and Meta worked with me. And actually, if you heard, there was a DALI 3 release yesterday. So it was really nice to be able to continue to have that presence outside of my main job to stay informed with what the market is doing and remain competitive again. Um, Nowadays, I speak more about subjects like ethics in every public speaking endeavor that I do, whether it's on TV, in news, medias, and journals and magazines. So I continue to teach and share also daily on Instagram. I think I'm at something like 500 posts in a row, daily posts. And whenever I learn something new, I try to share it back, right back with the community, and for free. Like I'm not even getting money from posting every day, but I see it more as a journaling exercise. It keeps me grounded. It forces me to remind myself that not everything that I learn is easily applicable to work, but that other people can learn from me by actually learning those early or easy entrance to a specific niche tool. And by having this kind of plethora of visibility with those different versatile tools, I can then make my own thinking and digest that content and redistribute it in a way that is more accessible for people that don't have the background that I have. That's really my goal here, and to continue to teach people, now having the opportunity after having done myself the circuit stream course in design for UX and XR, now to become an actual teacher for both circuit stream and at McGill. I find that really beautiful, because that really aligns with my values. I know that there's a lot of people in Montreal that cannot wait to be able to actually learn this from home, but having that course built in our city by someone that understands the market, I think it's even more saying about how much Circus Stream cares about that space. So I'm really happy to be there for you and here with you. And without further ado, let's talk a little bit more about that industry in Quebec. So, Montreal and more broadly Quebec have emerged as hotspots for the gaming and extended reality industry in recent years. Boasting a rich cultural heritage, a thriving tech ecosystem, and a talented pool of creative professionals, Quebec has become a hub for innovation and technological advancements. But Montreal's ascendancy as a gaming powerhouse has been remarkable. It is considered the gaming capital of Canada, just that. The city's thriving tech ecosystem, fueled by a robust talent pool and collaborative environment, has attracted major gaming studios, indie developers, and tech enthusiasts. With renowned educational institutions, including McGill University, nurturing skilled professionals, Montreal has become a breeding ground for innovation in gaming. Leading the charge in gaming and XR, Montreal boasts several noteworthy companies making significant strides in the industry. One standout is Ubisoft, a global powerhouse renowned for its excellence in the gaming sector. The studio has gained widespread recognition for its creation of top-tier titles such as Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, and as one of the largest game development studios in the world, Ubisoft Montreal employs a substantial number of people. The studio's operation employ a diverse range of talent, including game developers, artists, designers, programmers, and support staff. Quebec's influence in the XR sector is equally noteworthy. XR technologies, including virtual reality, VR, augmented reality, AR, and mixed reality, MR, are revolutionizing industries ranging from entertainment and healthcare to education and architecture. Montreal and Quebec are home to numerous startups and studios pushing the boundaries of XR innovation. Quebec actively supports the gaming and XR industry through various initiatives and government programs. The Quebec Interactive Digital Media Tax Credit and Canada Media Fund provide financial incentives and support for foster growth, attract investments, and encourage innovation. Such initiatives have helped in propelling Quebec's gaming industry to the forefront of global recognition. So the promising future is that the gaming and XR industry in Montreal and Quebec shows no signs of slowing down. The convergence of gaming tech with other cutting edge fields like artificial intelligence, blockchain, and cloud computing promises to deliver unprecedented gaming experiences and open new avenues for growth. Quebec's commitment to fostering innovation, combined with its talented workforce, positions it well to continue shaping the future of the industry. Montreal and Quebec have established themselves as leading forces in the gaming and extended reality industry. Their impressive roster of companies, supportive government programs, collaborative ecosystem, and commitment to innovation have propelled the province to the forefront of global gaming. As technology evolves, we can expect Montreal and more broadly Quebec to remain at the forefront of the industry, supporting the next wave of groundbreaking experiences in gaming and extended reality. So if you're contemplating a career in XR or gaming and seeking ways to acquire new skills, explore this 10-week XR design course with us because those micro credentials are going to be coming handy. Next slide, please. And so right now I want to talk about the convergence of emerging tech. So we all here know about the new title. Everybody's talking about spatial computing, especially since the Apple Vision Pro announcement. But that's a long term, it's been coming for a while. Like XR has been there before I was born and probably will be there after my death. But I find it interesting to think about not just the XR ecosystem as a tech, but as a horizontal stack of technologies. Obviously, AR, MR, and VR, when we think about it, we think about hardware, we think about the software, the operating system, and then the games or experiences that come with them. But I like to think of the spatial computing as almost a different layer on reality, almost as a parallel reality. Because when you think about it, and I like to use the example of Pokemon Go here, most people, when they play Pokemon Go nowadays, they don't actually activate the AR feature. Yet it is called the biggest AR game in the world. And I think that the current Pokemon Go is not the Pokemon Go that we refer to when we think about that. Let me give you an example. 2016, let me paint that canvas. If you're from Montreal, you know this. You would go outside, and there are some parks that usually have no one inside them, just trees and squirrels. And eventually, you will walk there on an afternoon, and you start seeing people with their phone in the air, swiping with their hand, moving around. And you knew, even if you're not playing the game, that there was something happening there spatially because people will move around in circle or look in the same direction or like take their phone and target a specific area. And eventually it became normal for that entire summer to see people, running around, and not just kids. I'm saying people because everybody was in it. I even saw a grandma playing with her daughter and then her granddaughter to Pokemon together in a subway. I found that super cute. And 2016 will always stay in my mind as some very key moment in time where we unlocked that parallel layer and we were all able to have those parallel universe layers in front of us at the same time. Someone that's not playing the game knew that there was probably a Pikachu running around just by seeing the people behaviors. And so when I think of spatial computing and the future of that, I imagine that this type of experiences might explode. We might see more of that, and not just when it comes to entertainment and video games, but I think of shopping, working on Saint Catherine and looking at ads on those different works, different shops, and what they have right now are 2D flat ads or those trucks with animations in 3D and things like that. It's still invasive in our life, but in the future you'll have that directly geolocated. You'll have multiplayer experiences. You'll be able to shop from home or shop on the go. And that's just when you think about the shopping industry. You can think of healthcare. You can think of governments. When I worked at IBM for SAAQ, our main task was to help renew the system of renewing your permit license, your driving license, which right now forces a lot of people to have to take hours of public transit and do big lineups and be able to go through an entire form that is on the website that is not even, we're talking about Web3, most people are not even on mobile. And those entire industries are due for a renewal. But also imagine if that entire experience was gamified, if it was done with accessibility in mind, if it was fun to do. Like I wish I could smile and have fun renewing my permit, because it's such a daunting task every year. It's my birthday and I have to think of renewing my license. No one wants to do that. So I feel like there is an opportunity here to think about that. But to do that, we need the data. And we used to call the pre-dot-com bubble the data era. And then we talked about the current era as data gathering, and more people are talking about the future of AI as data exploitation. And that's what I think about when I think about this convergence theory. I think that those different layers of society that are right now in different eco bubbles will actually merge, will finally be able to tap into these different technology stacks. And so everything will have to go through the layer of manipulation and how we actually enter those worlds. That's why XR is so important. That's why learning, design, and interaction is so important, because you don't want to repeat the same errors. The guy who invented the pop-up ads on the web regrets it. He doesn't want people to recognize him as the inventor of that because he thinks it's a doom. He thinks it's a problem, but yet he did it. So how can we avoid redoing those same mistakes, or actually designing delightful experiences, the experiences that we wish we can make for our children and for tomorrow, right? That's why I think UX for XI is so important. That's why we need more designers in UX. And that's why I'm doing this course. Now, let's talk in parallel of those different technologies that can come. So in artificial intelligence, we usually talk about computer vision. Computer vision is very interesting because it's as simple as recognizing the depths of a place with LiDAR, for example, or being able to recognize faces or to segment models like the body of someone on the face of someone. Right now, it's really heavily used in marketing and face recognition when it comes to filter for Instagram, because that's the current main use case for those use cases. But once those things get out of your phone and your front camera, and the behavior becomes more of the not handheld headset, but more of a HMD, or when they become glasses or even lenses at some point, and as we navigate towards BCI, it will become behavioral. You still need someone to actually design those experiences, and you still need to make sure when you make them that they are not making people sick or making people addicted. So that's where the interaction and design care needs to come from. Conversational AI, ChatGPT didn't invent AI or make AI simple. It made the interface between human and computer simple so that anyone can actually learn and can actually use these tools on their daily life. My mom was not interested about AI before last year, but now I'm able to actually teach her how to use ChatGPT to achieve some of her goals. Well, imagine having ChatGPT as an agent in VR next to you or on your desk in mixed reality, someone you can bounce back ideas with when you work or when you design or you make art, someone that can help you with your daily task or managing your life or managing your business. That's what we're seeing more and more as prototypes and things that are being built in real time. And then that multimodality, being able to connect all of the different ways that we input data into our computers so that the output can also be multimodal. I don't want to just do text to image. I don't want to just do text to ChatGPT. I want to be able to drag and drop an audio file and him understanding my voice tone and my emotions and respond accordingly. I want to be able to put a video and then understanding the composition, the movement, and the temporality. I want to be able to put an image and an audio and a video, and then the total amount of that zip file is also understood in context. Once we get multimodal functionality when it comes to the computer input, then we're starting to have a different type of conversation. It's not anymore humans trying to understand code or to learn the computer language. It's about computer trying to understand us. And by making computer understand us, we make us understand us better. I recognize that I still have a lot to learn when it comes to empathy, but I'm more empath after having been through computer science than having gone through anthropology or human behavior, because the type of conversation that we're having at work when we're trying to implement features are way more profound, where we're thinking even the way that people needs to behave between each other. So that's a very important thing to think about when we think about the future we want to design. And finally, real-time 3D engine, because all of this is useless if it's only for a gimmicky video made on After Effects or a post on Instagram that's still flat. We have to start thinking about how those different technology together can then become used in the real world. And that's where gaming is obviously a clear first thought for us. But I want to expand beyond gaming. I want to talk about digital twins. When it comes to someone managing an entire city or airport, having to go right now through 20 different level of hierarchy in a company, going on site when you're managing a nuclear plant, which can be risky, or if you're sending human to Mars and you have to manage that entire city from afar. Those things now requires movements, transportation, a lot of waste when it comes to the environment. What if all of this could be digitalized and you could have a perfect 3D representation of your space that you could control from afar, where the data that creates all the issue ticketing management is all in one place. And yet you couldn't even have to look at it. You can talk through your AI agent that understands all of it and manages it for you. And you could put your headset on or your glasses or your lenses tomorrow and have a miniature representation of it on a desk, or directly go through and visit that space in real time, collaborate with your colleague while still being from home or in distance. That's where I see digital twins with XR, with IoT, and with AI becoming an interesting experience where we're talking more about social experiences. Social media tomorrow won't be the same. We're starting to see the current space of social media with the kind of societal tissue collapse in real time with problems in Twitter or the way that Instagram is reinventing itself by adding more and more features from other platforms. But eventually everything looks the same and people are still craving more empathy and connections with humans. So I think it's important to think about what would a social network look like in VR? Well, it's already happening. Kids are on Roblox every day or in VR chat. People are sleeping in VR with headsets on and having literal meditation session or healing themselves with groups. There is many different things happening in different universe layers, metaverses, you call it the way you want. But yet you still have someone that's building those experiences and enabling people to connect. And that's where you come from. That's where we design those experiences with care. So I hope that this little presentation was not too much, but opened your eyes and inspired you to think beyond. And just to wrap it up, I'm going to go to the next slide quickly. And I know it was very fast, that I just wanted to, bring as much value as I can in a short amount of time, but obviously there's so much more to say. I'm on platform at Manu.vision if you want to reach out to me directly and expand on that conversation. More than happy to do so. In the meantime, I hope I can see you during the course if you sign up. If not, well, continue to follow CircuitStream. There is always those amazing webinars. Tyler is doing a good job with the rest of the team, and I'm excited to come back again.
My camera, my microphone, amazing. Thank you so much, Manuel. I'm going to keep you not on the stage, but keep you in the room, and I'll invite you back up on stage in just a few minutes, and we can do some Q&A with the audience, if that's okay.
Let's do that.
Perfect. All right. I'll make this big again because that's more important than me being big here. I just want to make sure everyone is aware. So Manuel is a professor at McGill, and he's going to be overseeing these XR courses through McGill. He's also an advocate at Unity, and he's with us at CircuitStream now too. So just to make sure everyone's aware of like kind of all three sides of Manuel here. He's a busy guy for sure. So so let me share a little bit of information here about the course information. Always important. I'm going to share about both of the courses that we have here. So actually, I'll start off here. Both courses have been created to teach the foundational skills, meaning you will learn the essential skills for either developing or designing in XR. You'll be able to use these skills to create XR experiences for a wide range of devices. These on the screen right now are just some examples of some student projects as they went through the course. I always shout out one of them. The bottom left corner in this screen particularly is a VR Hogwarts experience, and you get to kind of wander around in Dumbledore's castle or in his room in the castle, which is super fun. So, but just some quick examples. Always nice to show some screenshots of the students' work. So the XR Development with Unity course is designed for individuals interested in understanding how to use Unity in C# coding to develop XR experiences. I think I saw a question in the questions tab earlier about C#, and we can kind of loop back. I think Elisa already answered it actually, which is great, but we can loop back on that as well. But as you can see here, C# is a big component of the XR Development with Unity course. The great thing about this course is that it is all project-based. So you'll learn the concepts in class and get to apply them to real life projects. Our students love that part of the course because it allows you to kind of build a portfolio of projects that demonstrate your skills as you go through the course. So when you're finished, you don't just kind of finish with empty hands. You've got a nice portfolio of things that you completed during the course itself. You'll learn by the end of the 10 weeks, you will have learned foundational Unity skills, how to code in C#, and how to develop an AR and a VR application. So in a nutshell, basically, if you want to learn programming and development concepts, the XR Development course would be the right one for you. I mentioned Unity, but there are a few other tools listed here as well that you would use in the course, such as C#, AR Core, AR Kit. We're always reviewing the materials and the tools that are used in the course. So if anybody in the crowd has taken a course with us previously, they may notice that some of the tools are the same. Some of them might be different or updated since they took the course with us. So the goal is just to stay current and up to date and on trend with everything that's being used. So hopefully we see the new Apple Vision OS on here as well, and not too long. The interaction design and prototyping for XR course, on the other hand, is designed for those interested in understanding how to design XR experiences and interactions. So the course is also project-based. You'll have the chance to take the concepts learned in the class and apply them to real-life projects, just like you do in the design course or in the development course. My apologies. By the end of the 10 weeks, you'll have learned how to apply the best UX practices to XR experiences and prototype AR/VR experiences using industry-recognized tools. Besides Unity, in the design course, you would use other tools like Shapes XR, Figma, Spark AR, Adobe Aero, just a few examples here. And again, we're always updating the tools, so these might have flipped if you've taken the course with us. And well, there might be some new tools here that you even see then since you took the course with us there.
Actually, I'm excited about that because when I did the course last time, it was really focused on Unity, and I'm so happy to see that we're expanding beyond and that there is other tools that have good synergies between each other. It's going to be exciting.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And then, oh yes, and I mentioned you'll be finishing the course with a portfolio of projects, both of those courses, but you'll also receive a digital badge that you can add to your resume and your LinkedIn profile to show your completion of the courses. That just shows the two badges on the screen here, one for development and one for design. Also, when you enroll in the courses, you get access to our private XR community on Discord. Currently, we have over 1,200 active members. The community is a great place to network, get help on projects, ask questions, find out more about career opportunities, or just connect with like-minded people. I think I mentioned this earlier, but we have tons of students that collaborate together. They take the courses and they end up building different applications or games together during the course or after. Usually, we always recommend to practice the skills as you go through the course. So you can do the actual course curriculum, but sometimes it's fun to challenge yourself to try and build something outside of that as you're learning the skills with some of the other people in the class as well. So, or just in the network. I shouldn't just say in the class. The Discord has over 1,200 active members, and those are past students, current students, industry representatives, just tons of different people that you can network with, and we encourage it. Once you complete the course, we don't kick you out. We actually keep you as a part of the community, as long as you want to be. I mean, you can leave if you want to, but outside of that, we encourage you to stay in network for life. So a little bit more about the logistics of the courses. They're both 10 weeks long, and they consist of 3 hours of live online instruction per week via video conference and roughly about 6 hours of independent study. The great thing to note is that these sessions are recorded and sent out to students in case you miss one or you miss a little bit of a class. I always use the example, if the phone rings or the doorbell rings and your instructor's right in the middle of a lesson, obviously you're going to miss a portion of it, but you can come back and just rewatch the recording, or you can watch the entire recording even if you did attend the class, just as you're practicing and doing things so that you can kind of apply it to the lessons that you've learned while you're building your own stuff there. So we also offer daily office hours where students can drop in and ask questions. So this is another spot for you to get additional support. The office hours would be managed by the course instructors. So you can pop in during those and ask questions right to the instructors directly outside of the class hours. And you can continue to do that. Our alumni have lifetime access to the class recordings, materials, and office hours. So even after you finish, you can continue to connect and network there. These are the course time slots. Everything here is in the Eastern time zone, which would make sense for everybody in Quebec there. We will be sending out a recording again of this session. So if you're looking at the time slots here and you want to just take note of it, you certainly can. There's only one time slot option for both of the courses, so there's not too much to take note of there for that. But again, you'll get a copy of this session, so you will get that info. And I'm going to go over a couple items that you'll want to know once you're ready to apply for the course, starting with pricing, just all of the important stuff here. So we offer two different package options for both courses. The starter package is great for people who already have a little bit of experience and don't need additional assistance. But if you're a complete beginner or wish to have a little bit more personalized support during your time with the course, the Plus package would probably be the better option for you. The Plus package comes with access to premium community features, such as access to challenges, workshops, content, and more. So it's just, a little extra oomph. If you're a complete beginner, then it's a nice support system for you. If you come to us and you say you've got a little bit of coding experience, if you're looking at the development side and say you've coded in a different language, it's a little bit more transferable, I'd say, than somebody who's completely brand new. So the Plus package is just there for support, basically. And with both of the packages for this session here today, we actually have a promotion in place. We've got, you can say $400 off of either of the courses. So if you're interested in that, just make sure you do let us know, reach out and let us know that you're looking to sign up. We'll have to check the availability and make sure that we still have spots open. But as long as we do, we can certainly get you in with the promotion. And I'll share the upcoming start dates here for you too in just a moment. I know I shared this earlier in the presentation. I mentioned I was going to circle back a little bit later as well, but this is the website page for the interaction design course. And this is the website page for the XR development course. So if you are looking to register for either of those, that's the easiest way. Just click right through to those. I think we will share those in the chat again there for you, just so you have direct access. We typically run the courses every few months, but the upcoming cohorts for these ones would be March 19th through May 23rd for the XR Development with Unity course, and then March 18th through May 29th for the Interaction Design and Prototyping for XR course. So we've got a little bit of a gap here before the next ones kick off. But in terms of the promotions, if you register following today's event for those dates, even though they're a little bit in the future, the promotions would apply for that. So. And this is, we're going to share in the chat as well. If you have any questions about the courses, basically anything that I didn't answer here for you today. And on that note, I am going to publish some polls into the polls tab as well for you right now. But basically, if you have any questions outside of kind of what I went over today about the courses, about the start dates, about the pricing, we also have payment plans available, anything like that, you can certainly reach out and book a meeting with us here. The meeting link, I think we put it into the chat there. We did, yeah. So you can book a meeting that way just by clicking the link. And if you want, or if you missed that link for any reason, just go to the CircuitStream website directly and you can connect with us through the chat, or you can request a meeting that way as well. And that's it. That's it in terms of the actual presentation, in terms of the courses and the pricing and how to find them on the website. So without further ado, I will get rid of this presentation screen here and bring us back up on the stage, and we can go through some Q&A.
Yeah.
I know we already, I think quite a few of the questions were answered, but for the sake of everyone kind of seeing the answers, I might still shout them out so that everyone can kind of see what we said. Is CircuitStream engaged only with Unity? We are not. So Unity is definitely a partner of CircuitStream's, but Unity's, the best way to look at it is Unity is kind of a tool that CircuitStream uses to teach development and design. There's other tools. We've been using Unity for a long time, but we do use other tools in the course. And as a main development engine, you can learn in Unity, but you can also apply those skill sets to other development engines outside of that too. So for now, I think the main tool we're using in the development 10-week course is Unity, but things will probably develop and change over time. But the instructors themselves are also versed outside of just Unity as well. So if you have questions on platforms outside of that as you go through, they can also assist there. And then the answer here was, my understanding, Unity's central tool, but not the only tool. Yes, perfect. So I think, Elisa, you answered that question. That was a bang on answer. That was perfect. I have an open work permit. Could I participate in the course? I think Elise answered that one. She's provided you with an email to ask and just kind of check in with that. That's probably the best method to do there. I wouldn't be able to give you a direct answer on that, but I think Elisa guided you in the right direction for that one there. So we can go on to the next one here. So what are the background requirements to start my career in UX design? I'll let you maybe speak on that one a little bit, Manuel.
And I love the answer that was given, because that's really what I think too. There is no specific background that is required to start in UX. And actually, I hate when companies do that, because they actually turn off a lot of people from just trying. I had a friend who started UX coming from a pharmaceutical background that had nothing to do with design or even psychology, yet was striving because he has a really different way of thinking and solving problems. Design really just means solving problems. So any background is good for design. That being said, there is a lot of different background that can help you with your UX design future, because they just have a good synergy. And it was listed over there. We have cognitive psychology, accessibility, graphic design. So having those type of background definitely are a plus, but not at all a requirement.
Yeah, some would be a little bit more complementary probably for the education coming in new. But yeah, not required by any means. So should we have coding knowledge such as C#? So I think this is the question, Arash, that I was mentioning previously.
It's great to have, but it's
yeah,
not a requirement either. And now we have access to so many new tools. Actually, if you're part of the beta program for the AI tools at Unity, you know about Muse. And Unity Muse is basically your ChatGPT trained on our documentation. So it can provide code snippets. It can help you build things that you wouldn't be able to do by yourself. I'm going to use it for the course and help people have fun with it as well. So no, you don't need to have C# knowledge. If you do, you're going to be a superpower student.
Yeah, exactly. We'll teach you. That's why we always try and say it's beginner friendly. We have tons of people that come. We even have people that come from full design backgrounds and want to move into development. So they certainly have no coding background or any experience, and they're completely fine in the course. So,
and he works with other coding languages as well. So Python, Swift, JavaScript.
Yeah, absolutely. Does computer platform matter for this course? Mac versus Windows?
It does matter a little bit. Not that you wouldn't be able to use Mac. It's just that there are stuff when it comes to live prototyping with the Quest headset, for example. It's just a bit more better implemented in Windows. But if some folks have a Mac, that shouldn't turn you off from using the course. And I'm actually going to have an extra care for the people that have a Mac to make sure that they don't feel outed from any of the prototyping we're doing.
Yeah, that's usually what we say it from the Circuit Stream side as well. Just it's usually recommended for Windows, but we have a lot of students that have Macs when they go through the course.
And Linux is a bit of Linux is a bit of a third problematic here, is because just some tools just simply don't work there. Not that we wouldn't want to support Linux, but it's just going to make you have a harder time. That being said, again, you can actually join this course without having any of the hardware and still getting something out of it, because most of the learning is going to be agnostic and still going to be transposable to other platforms. So if you really do want to join and you're on Linux, just know it's going to be harder, but it shouldn't be a no blocker completely.
Totally. Yeah. So again, some are just more supportive of the tech than others for sure. Could we pay in 4 payments? At the present, I don't believe we have the option set up. Working towards that. Hope the finance team will have something set up in place for us soon. So yeah, we can always answer those questions for you to see what the options would look like for that. So the easiest way is probably just to reach out to the admissions team with the link there, and they can let you know all of the options for payment, for start dates, any of that sort of information there. And then I think that's it in the actual questions tab, but I'm just taking a look in the
there's one from Dan that just got posted, and he's saying he's very interested in the course, but not really interested in getting into video game design, though he loves video games. What do you see as the most emerging industries outside of the game industry that are really taking advantage of this tech? Well, anything that was shared during the presentation, right? So when you think about those 2 big pillars, you have AEC, so architecture, engineering, construction, and then ATM, automotive, transportation, manufacturing. Those 6 industries are probably the biggest when it comes to XR and digital twins, but not only. You have VFX, entertainment, and obviously gaming as well. And then socials. A lot of people are not seeing social in one of those bubbles, but it's actually growing as the biggest platform for XR. So if you're interested to building just social experiments that are not necessarily game, but can use gamification, well, that's also a good place for that. But yeah, I would say AC, ATM are the best.
I think what you said earlier too in your presentation, like in any environment that's, you know, a little dangerous to kind of go into, or anything that's not, you know, basically if you can enter it in a simulation in a little bit of a safer format or with less risk, that's where XR is going to come into place for training for a lot of these companies. You know, imagine like in healthcare, somebody operating on a body, it's a lot easier to go into a virtual simulation and make a wrong move where you're cutting something versus going in and doing that on a live human being. Hopefully they're still alive by the end of that. But
because for AC and ATM, it's really just actually XR specialized tools. But then when you open the door for training, any industry is valid, whether it's healthcare, finance, governments, and even lawmaking and things like that. They are using XR training for making an onboarding a little bit easier and faster and more immersive. So, and teaching as well. Education is so huge when it comes to XR.
Yeah, I go to a lot of conferences, and I'm sure you do too, but I see lots of educators at the conferences looking for different ways to kind of innovate and incorporate XR into their classrooms. This can be people at a high level, or even just individual teachers looking for their own personal ways to kind of engage their students with some XR experiences. So
my fiance and my mom are teachers, and from high school both, and trying more and more to make them implement XR in their work. AR is a bit easier, obviously, because you don't have to give a headset to every kid. But there are some schools right now that starts with tablets replaced by Quest instead, so that kids are learning XR on an early basis. So it's nice to see that it's being more and more adopted across the world.
Yeah, I like seeing all the different ways that it is being adopted. There's some cases where I was like, wow, I didn't even think of that. Like, but that's an amazing use of the tech. Like, it's just such a smart way to use it. So there's lots of that I come across. So looks like we've got a few more. Thanks for the info. Should beginners start with the design course more than development? No. Both courses are completely beginner friendly. The bigger question usually, and I do apologize, there's somebody vacuuming in the hallway right outside of my door right now. So if my sound is picking that up at all, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good.
But basically, what I usually recommend is, you know, where does your passion lie? Are you a little bit more interested in developing and coding? Are you more interested in design and prototyping and interaction? That's probably the smartest place to start, because both of the courses are completely beginner friendly. So yeah, just pick what your passion would be and then start with that. And then if you want to learn the other side of it, you can also take the other 10-week course too.
They're definitely complementary as well.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's what a few people were saying in the chat earlier too. As a developer, it's handy to know at least the base fundamentals of design, and vice versa. So some people enjoy taking both full 10-week courses. Actually, we've had tons of students take both of the 10-week courses. It's handy to know both sides of it. So my recommendation, I guess, with that would be, Nancy, don't take both the courses at the same time. It's the only thing. I mean, you can if you want to, but pace yourself with everything is the best way to do that. And how would the use of UX design in construction sector?
Oh my, so much. When it comes to construction, for example, I had this use case where they were using a form on an Android poorly designed web experience to measure the size of the poles when they are doing maintenance. And they used to actually grab their notebook, put it in their pocket, go up the pole in the heat, actually note down some of the measurement that they're doing, super risky, and then go down, pass the book to the guy that's waiting in the back of the car. And then that person will have to read through the handwriting and then implement that data on the form. And then the person that works at the office has now to take that form that is sometimes with holes or mistakes or spelling mistakes, and now inject that in the system. Think about this entire experience and all of the UX pain points you can make better. And think about how you can use XR to even maybe shorten or replace some of those things when it comes to safety or communication. So yes, there's many use cases. I can make an entire presentation just on that.
Yeah, we've got a lot of requests from that side too. People looking for different ways to incorporate the tech.
Actually, I think Quebec would benefit from more XR in construction.
I'm in Alberta, so I can't speak to that. We might be able to actually here too. And then, oh, Nancy, I'll just put this up quick. That was your next question. So Nancy's next question was, should you take one course at a time or take several at a time if you're looking at doing both? And that's where I say just, yeah, pace yourself and try and do one.
And as we are answering live, read the chat as well. There's many good answers being written in real time. We can say everything, but it's just read the chat.
I'm flipping back and forth on my side, trying to see both, but I can see Elisa's adding in a lot here. Different industries, healthcare, agriculture, interior design, landscaping, childcare, elderly care. This is all incredibly accurate. Safety, quality control. So Quebec would just benefit from more construction. I think we have enough construction in Alberta. We don't need any more here right now. Well, I think that's it. I'm just taking a quick look at the questions tab here, and I think we hit them all. If anybody else has any other questions, feel free to pop those into the chat or into the questions tab now. But outside of that, the links that we shared there, those would be the registration pages. We shared the link if you have any questions about the courses or payment or anything along those lines. Just book a meeting with us at CircuitStream and we can do that. If you sign up for the course, you'll get Manuel as your lovely instructor when you're taking the courses at McGill there. So if you want to see more of Manuel, sign up for the courses to do that. But outside of that, Manuel, do you have your LinkedIn link by chance? I'll get him to throw it into the chat. And then if anybody wants to follow Manuel or wants to connect with them, especially if you register for the course, sometimes it's nice to kind of connect with your instructor too that way. So he will post that into the chat there on the side. My name is Tyler Trapp. I think I've already seen a couple LinkedIn requests come through. I think I accepted a couple there during this presentation, but you can also get me. Just search my name in the bottom corner of my camera here, Tyler Trapp at CircuitStream, and you should find me. We will have events coming up soon. We post those usually either on the university websites or directly on the CircuitStream website as well. And yeah, I think that's it. I can end the session here today for that. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Elisa, for being here and for engaging in the chat and for speaking. She just shared, in fact, her LinkedIn as well and said that you are welcome to stalk her. If you have no better entertainment in mind, she says. And Well just shared my LinkedIn. Thank you so much. And yeah, with that being said, thank you to everyone in the crowd. We look forward to seeing you at the next session. I'll let you say that as well, Manuel.
Yeah, thank you for joining and spending some time with us. Hopefully that, gave you some reassurance on how cool the course is going to be. And if you have still questions, reach out to us. We'll super open to answer any question.
Oh, and lastly too, I dropped those other two polls into the polls tab. So if anybody missed those, it was just asking if making sure that you understood the course information, I think was one. I can't remember what the other one is, but there's two more polls in there. So feel free to engage with those. And yeah, that's it. So we'll end the event here and we look forward to seeing you all at the next one. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
See the thank yous in the bye. Bye.